Welcome to Cozy Sleep Stories, a peaceful place where gentle stories and calming voices help you unwind, relax, and drift into a deep, restful sleep. Whether you've had a long day, your mind won't slow down, or you're simply looking for a comforting bedtime story, you're in the right place. If you enjoy relaxing stories that help you fall asleep naturally, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new bedtime journey. Now, find your most comfortable position. Allow your body to settle into the bed. Take a slow, deep breath in and gently breathe out. Feel the tension leaving your shoulders. Relax your face. Relax your arms. Relax your legs. With every breath, your body becomes a little heavier, a little calmer, a little more peaceful. There is nothing you need to think about, nothing you need to do, only this quiet moment and the story you're about to hear. So close your eyes, take one last slow breath, and let tonight's cozy story carry you gently into sleep. Sweet dreams. What if you could wake up 2,000 years ago, not in a museum, not in a history book, but really there, in the cool morning air, on a narrow stone street, in a city that never quite goes silent. Tonight, that's where we're going. Welcome. Get comfortable. Settle into your bed, adjust your blanket, and let your body grow heavy against the mattress. There's nowhere else you need to be tonight, and nothing else you need to do. Close your eyes if you'd like, or let them rest half open, soft and unfocused. Either way is fine. Just let your breathing slow down, in and out, and let the day you've had begin to drift away from you, like a boat slipping quietly from the shore. Tonight, we're traveling back nearly 2,000 years to a city built on 7 hills, where the streets are made of stone, the air smells of wood smoke and bread, and a single day holds more life than most cities see in a year. We're going to Rome, not the Rome of ruins and tour groups, the Rome that was once new, the Rome that was, for one ordinary day, simply alive. You don't need to remember anything. You don't need to follow every detail. If your mind starts to wander, or your eyelids grow heavy, that's exactly what's supposed to happen. Just let my voice carry you, the way a slow river carries a leaf, without any effort at all. Let's begin. It's a little before dawn, in the late spring, in the 14th year of the reign of the Emperor Augustus. Imagine the sky first. Not yet blue, not yet gold, but a deep, soft gray, the color of a dove's wing. The stars are still out, faint and few, fading one by one as the light begins to rise behind the hills to the east. You're lying on a simple wooden bed in a small room on the second floor of an apartment building. The Romans called these buildings insulae, islands, because they stood alone between the streets like little islands of stone and timber. Your mattress is stuffed with wool, a little lumpy in places, but warm. A rough woolen blanket covers you, and through the single small window, without any glass, the cool night air drifts in, carrying the scent of the city below. Listen, for a moment, to what a city sounds like before it wakes. There's almost nothing. A rooster, somewhere a few streets away, calling out too early, then falling quiet again. The soft coo of pigeons nesting under a tiled roof. Very faint from somewhere below, the creak of a cartwheel, and the slow, patient footsteps of a mule pulling it. A farmer, perhaps, bringing vegetables in from the countryside before the sun is fully up, so he can have his stall ready at the market. You pull the blanket a little higher over your shoulder. There's no rush yet. The city is still deciding whether to wake. Beside your bed, on a small table, sits an oil lamp, its flame long since gone out. Just a thin curl of dried smoke still clinging to the air above it. A woolen tunic, folded neatly, waits for you. In the corner of the room, a simple clay jug holds water for washing your face. Downstairs, you can hear the baker beginning his work. Rome's bakeries never really sleep. Bread has to rise slowly, overnight, in stone ovens that hold their heat for hours. The smell begins to seep upward through the floorboards and along the narrow stairwell. Warm, yeasty, faintly sweet. It's one of the first true smells of a Roman morning, and it will follow you through nearly every street you walk today. Somewhere below your window, a shutter creaks open, then another. The city is beginning to breathe. Rome at this time is home to nearly 1 million people, more than any city on earth would hold again for over 1,000 years. But right now, in this quiet hour, it feels like nothing more than a small village of stone, half asleep, wrapped in soft gray light. You swing your legs over the side of the bed. The floor is cool beneath your feet. Smooth tile, slightly worn in the middle from years of footsteps just like yours. You reach for the jug of water, splash a little onto your face, and let it wake you gently rather than sharply, the way morning water always does. There is no rush in this world. No clock ticking on a wall. No bright light demanding your attention. Only the slow, steady rhythm of a city deciding quietly that it is time to begin. You dress in your tunic, simple undyed wool, belted at the waist, and step toward the small window. Outside, the sky has softened into a pale rose color, brushing the tiled rooftops with the faintest hint of gold. Far below, the street is beginning to stir. You make your way down the narrow wooden stairs, each step worn smooth and slightly uneven, until you reach the street. The street itself is barely wide enough for 2 people to pass comfortably, paved with large, flat stones, polished by centuries. No, not centuries yet, only decades of footsteps, cartwheels, and rain between the stones. Here and there, a little grass has found its way through. The buildings around you rise 3, 4, sometimes 5 stories high, leaning ever so slightly toward each other, so that in places the sky above the street narrows to a thin ribbon of soft morning light. Balconies jut out above you, some strung with drying laundry, others crowded with small clay pots of herbs, rosemary, mint, and a little basil, planted by someone who missed the countryside they'd left behind. Down at street level, shopkeepers are only just beginning to lift their wooden shutters. A cobbler arranges his tools along a low counter. A seller of oil dips a clay jar into a large earthenware container, testing the weight of it in his hand. Their movements are unhurried, familiar, the same motions repeated every morning of their working lives. The baker's shop, just a few doors down, has its doors wide open now, and the warm smell you noticed earlier fills the whole street. Loaves sit in neat rows on wooden shelves, round, flat, some marked with a cross-shaped cut on top to help them bake evenly and to make them easier to break apart later. You step inside, and the baker, dusted in flour up to his elbows, nods to you with the quiet familiarity of someone who has sold you bread every morning for years. You take a small round loaf, still warm enough to feel through the cloth you wrap it in, and a handful of dried figs from a basket by the counter. This will be breakfast. Ientaculum, as it's called. Simple, Quick, eaten standing, or walking, or sitting on a stone step in the early light. Most Romans don't linger over breakfast. The real meal of the day comes much later. You break off a piece of the bread. It's dense, slightly chewy, with a faintly sour edge from the slow fermentation. The crust crackles softly. You eat slowly, in no hurry, letting the warmth of it settle into you the way morning light settles onto stone. As you eat, the street continues to wake around you. A group of children hurries past, satchels made of cloth slung over their shoulders, on their way to a small school held in a covered walkway nearby. Nothing more than a curtain strung between two columns, and a teacher with a stick of chalk and a great deal of patience. You can just hear their voices, reciting something in unison, rising and falling like a tide, though the exact words are lost in the general hum of the street. An old woman sweeps the stone step outside her doorway, with a bundle of twigs tied together, unhurried. The same motion she's made every morning for as long as anyone can remember. A dog, thin but unbothered, stretches in a warm patch of early sunlight that has just begun to reach the base of the buildings. Somewhere nearby, a fountain trickles, one of the small public fountains fed by Rome's great aqueducts, bringing fresh water down from the hills far outside the city, through channels of stone and brick that stretch for many miles. A woman fills a clay jug there, balancing it easily against her hip, exchanging a few quiet words with a neighbor before continuing on her way. The morning air is cool, but you can feel, faintly, the promise of warmth to come. By midday, the stone will hold heat like an oven. But for now, everything still feels soft, unhurried, half-lit. You finish the last of the bread, brush the crumbs from your hands, and begin to walk, not with any particular urgency, but simply because there is a city waiting to be walked through. And this is the hour when it is most beautiful. The street begins to slope gently downward, and the crowd around you begins to thicken, not into anything hurried or chaotic, but into a slow, steady current of people, carts, and animals, all moving in roughly the same direction. You're heading toward the Forum, the great open square at the very heart of the city, surrounded by temples, law courts, and government buildings, their marble columns catching the late morning light like rows of pale golden trees. Before you reach it, though, you pass through the market, the Macellum, a covered space filled with stalls selling nearly everything the city could want. The smells arrive first, overlapping in waves. Fresh fish laid out on beds of ice brought down from the mountains, wrapped in seaweed to keep it cool. Herbs tied in bundles, releasing their sharp green scent whenever someone brushes past. Olives glistening in shallow dishes of oil. Some green, some deep purple-black. Wheels of cheese, pale and firm. A fishmonger calls out the morning's catch, his voice carrying easily over the general hum. A woman haggles gently over a bundle of leeks, more out of habit than necessity, while the seller shrugs and smiles and eventually agrees to a price they both knew from the start. Nearby, a boy carries a wide basket of cherries on his head, weaving carefully between the stalls, calling out their sweetness to anyone who might listen. You linger for a while near a stall selling honeyed almonds, watching the seller turn them slowly in a shallow copper pan over hot coals, the sugar just beginning to caramelize, filling the air with something warm and sweet beneath all the sharper market smells. Eventually, the crowd carries you out into the open light of the Forum itself. Here, the noise changes, becomes larger, more layered. Marble temples rise on either side, their columns fluted and pale, catching the sun in long, clean lines. Somewhere to your left, a group of men in togas discuss something with great seriousness. Perhaps a matter of law, or trade, or simply the price of grain. Their voices are steady, unhurried, the kind of conversation that could go on for hours without anyone minding. Statues stand at intervals along the square. Emperors, generals, gods, their bronze and marble faces watching the crowd pass beneath them with the same calm expression they've worn for years and will wear for years to come. You find a low step near the base of a temple and sit for a while, simply watching. This is one of the quiet pleasures of a Roman day. Not doing anything in particular, but being present in the middle of so much life and feeling entirely at ease within it. A group of senators passes by, their togas a bright, clean white, trimmed with a thin purple stripe marking their rank. They walk with unhurried dignity, trailed by a few attendants carrying scrolls. No one around them seems particularly impressed. This is simply part of the ordinary texture of the day. The way clouds passing overhead are part of the sky. Bells. Not bells exactly, but the deep, resonant call of a horn. Sound from somewhere near the basilica, marking the hour. Time in Rome is told by shadows and sound, not by the small mechanical clocks that wouldn't exist for many centuries yet. Everyone simply knows, by some shared, unspoken agreement, what the middle of the day feels like. The heat is beginning to build now, pressing gently down from directly overhead. The white marble of the temples seems to glow faintly under it. Many people begin drifting toward whatever shade they can find. Beneath awnings, under colonnades, inside the cool, dim interiors of shops and taverns. You feel it too. A certain heaviness, a slowing down, the natural rhythm of a Mediterranean day asking you to rest. By early afternoon, like most of the city, you make your way toward the baths. The public baths, the thermae, are one of the great everyday luxuries of Roman life, open to nearly everyone, rich or poor, for the cost of only a few small coins. As you approach, the building rises before you, vast and solid, its brick walls glowing warm red-orange in the afternoon light, steam drifting faintly from somewhere within. Inside, the noise softens into something different. The echo of voices under high ceilings, the gentle slap of bare feet on wet marble, the low murmur of conversation mixing with the sound of water. You move first through the apoditerium, the changing room, where you leave your tunic and sandals in a small stone alcove, trusting, mostly, that they'll still be there when you return. Then into the tepidarium, a warm room, gently heated, where your body begins to loosen and relax, the tension of the day slowly dissolving from your shoulders. From there, if you like, into the caldarium, the hot room, filled with steam, the air thick and damp, warm water running along shallow channels in the floor. You sit for a while, letting the heat sink into your muscles, your breathing slowing, your thoughts growing quiet and simple. Around you, other bathers move slowly through the same ritual, some talking quietly, some simply resting in silence, eyes closed, heads tilted back against the warm marble walls. An attendant moves between them with a curved bronze tool called a strigil, gently scraping oil and sweat from the skin of anyone who asks. A form of cleansing that came before soap was common. Finally, you make your way to the frigidarium, the cold room, and step into cool water that makes you gasp softly for just a moment before your body adjusts. And a feeling of lightness spreads through you, clean and awake and calm all at once. Afterward, wrapped in a simple linen cloth, you sit for a while in a quiet courtyard just outside the main bathing halls, beneath a covered walkway where a soft breeze moves gently through. Some people are reading from small scrolls. Others play a quiet board game, moving pieces slowly across a marked stone slab. A few simply sit, eyes closed, enjoying the particular, unhurried peace that follows a long soak in warm water. Your body feels loose now, unhooked from the tension of the morning. Your thoughts too have slowed, no longer moving quickly from one thing to the next, but settling, like sediment in still water, into something calm and clear. Outside, the light has shifted. The gold of midday has softened into something deeper, more amber, stretching long shadows across the stones of the street. It's time to go home. The walk back through the city feels different now. The crowds have thinned. Shopkeepers are closing their shutters for the evening, one by one, the wooden panels sliding into place with a soft, familiar clatter. Lamps begin to appear in windows, small flickers of warm light against the deepening blue of the sky. The air has cooled just slightly, carrying with it the scent of evening cooking fires beginning to be lit throughout the city. Wood smoke, and beneath it, the rich smell of something simmering slowly. Somewhere nearby, garlic and herbs are being crushed together in a stone mortar. The sound a soft, rhythmic grinding beneath the murmur of voices. Back in your building, the evening meal, cena, the main meal of the Roman day, is beginning to come together. A simple pottage of grains, softened slowly over a low fire, mixed with vegetables from the market, leeks, cabbage, a little onion, a few olives set aside in a small dish. If the day has been a good one, perhaps a little fish, cooked simply with oil and herbs, its skin crisping gently at the edges. You sit, finally, without any hurry at all, in the small, warm glow of an oil lamp, its flame swaying gently whenever the evening air moves through the room. The meal is simple, but after a long day of walking, market smells, warm baths, and slow conversation, it tastes like exactly enough. Somewhere below, in the street, voices drift up faintly. A neighbor calling a child in for the night. The last footsteps of the day fading into quiet. A dog barks once, twice, then settles. The sky outside your small window has turned a deep, soft indigo now. The very first stars beginning to appear, faint and scattered, as though someone were slowly, carefully lighting 1,000 distant lamps. You finish the last of your meal. The oil lamp beside you flickers low, its light small and warm and steady. There's nothing left to do tonight. No task waiting. No conversation left unfinished. Just the quiet, settled feeling of a full day, drawing gently to its close. You rise and move to the window one last time. Below, Rome has grown quiet in the way that only an ancient city can. Not silent exactly, but hushed, its million small sounds folding into one soft, steady murmur, like breathing. Above, the sky is filled with stars, more of them than you've perhaps ever truly noticed before, scattered without pattern across the deep blue-black of the night. The same stars, in fact, that still hang above you now. All these centuries later, you climb back into your simple wooden bed. The wool blanket settles over you, warm and a little rough. Familiar now after only one day of knowing it. The oil lamp beside you flickers once more, then quietly goes out, leaving only the pale silver light of the stars drifting faintly through the window. Somewhere below, in the last of the evening, a single voice hums something low and unhurried. No particular tune, just a sound, drifting up through the quiet street and fading slowly into silence. Your breathing is slowed. Your body has grown heavy and warm beneath the blanket. The day, the market, the forum, the warm water of the baths, the simple meal, the stars, begins to blur softly at the edges, the way all good days do, just before sleep. There's nowhere else to be now. Nothing left to do. Only the soft dark and the quiet and the gentle weight of sleep settling over you, like a blanket of its own. Sleep well, and I'll see you on our next journey.